Seeking English S.A.T. Workbook, page 446, problem 3. If you get the point of this problem, it's going to be worth a lot to you on the test. Not in terms, perhaps, of getting the correct answer, but in terms of saving time that you need to answer problems that are actually more difficult than this one. This problem might appear difficult to you. It's not. It's not a difficult problem if you simply spot what makes it an easy problem. An obvious thing is, much like the previous problem, you want to simplify the quadratic before you start putting numbers in. So let's do that. Okay, that's not really the point of this problem, but just for good measure, I'm going to do it anyway. Divide everything by 3. 0 divided by 3, 0. That's a plus 1. Okay, that becomes a minus 3. That becomes there. So your A, B, and C become 1, minus 3, and 1. That's going to be really easy to input, but that's not going to save you nearly as much time as this. It says, what is the sum of all the values of x that satisfy this equation? They're looking for the sum of the solutions, which means you're gonna add together two versions of this thing. I'm going to take away this x so you're not confused by it. They're looking for two versions of this, one in which this expression is plus and one in which this expression is minus. Okay? So a funny thing though is, if you add those together, whatever is in there, it's gonna disappear. A plus version of it and a minus version of it they're gonna go away. Okay? So it becomes that, except they want you to add them together. The part that cancels, you can assume is gonna be gone. It's gonna be just two times whatever that happens to be. Our minus b is a 3, okay, and our a is a 2, okay, and that 2 and that 2 cancel. So the sum is 3. Out of your answers, this is the correct answer. Okay, and I can understand why they gave these incorrect answers. I can imagine somebody somehow getting that wrong. But the risk in this problem has less to do with you getting the wrong answer than with you wasting time getting the correct answer. Okay, if you take this A, this B, and this C, and you put them in and you run them through, you're going to end up in the same place at the end of the process, which is that 3. But it will be later, and you don't want it to be later. Okay, you want to do it, if not as quickly as I just did it. You want to be able to do it more quickly than the other way I described. I'm not going to waste your time showing it to you. You can imagine. That's the point of this thing. It's not how to get the correct answer. It's how to get the correct answer quickly. That means understanding that when you add the two solutions of a quadratic together, whatever is inside that root bracket is going to cancel out because it's a plus or minus expression. Now, why does this matter? Why does this matter? Okay, it's unlikely that they will ask you to find the real vertex of an imaginary parabola on the S.A.T. But I want you to conceptualize this. I want you to think about it for a second. If you graph a parabola, most of your parabola is defined by the stuff inside that plus or minus root bracket. The one point that's not defined by that is the vertex. So if they give you a formula for parabola that has imaginary data in it, and then they want you to pick a vertex, or they want you to pick a sum, again, sum of solutions like they did here. Don't get thrown off by that. Don't be intimidated by it. Understanding that an otherwise imaginary parabola can in fact have a real vertex is an important thing to understand about parabolas, and an important thing to understand about quadratics in their relation to parabolas. So if you're confused or even stumped by things that I've just said, don't worry. Okay, slow down, watch the video again, and hopefully, if you get nothing else out of it, you'll be able to just do this kind of a problem much more quickly on the real test. Okay, again, I'll answer any questions in the comments section. Don't be afraid to ask.